The send-out test is in some ways a null test. In other words, it's been provided with particle flow as a way to get particles out of an event without needing to meet any actual criteria. So the default value for the operator is to simply send all particles that it receives on to the next event. You also have the option to send no particles, and this option seems to have been provided simply to allow testing with your flow, because there's no point in having a send-out test and then having it do nothing. As I said, it's more of a diagnostic tool for when you actually just want to turn it off temporarily. The reason that you need to send all particles out to another flow is because some operators need to be isolated from previous operators to function correctly. A good example of this is the scale operator's relative first and relative successive scaling partnership that was described in DVD 2 in this series. For this partnership to work correctly, you need to first have a relative first in one event, where it records your particle's scale, and then relative successive in a following event, where it uses this stored value. So to separate these two operators, you need two events. And this is where send out comes in handy, because you don't actually need to test the particles for any criteria to send them on to the next event, you just send them out. So as I said, it's a null test. So remember, when you want to send out your particles to a new event with no real testing involved, the send out test is the tool for you. Now, you may actually just recognize this file because we've just been looking at it, and you can actually see we have a send out in action here. If we actually have a look, you've got send out, and you can see it's set to all particles, and the other option is to send out no particles. So if we say no particles, you can see the particles stay in this event, and you can see they're spinning. They just stay in here, spinning round, 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 round. And if we say send out all particles, they get sent on to the next event, where, as you can see, they're given new shapes, the shapes are scaled, and the orientation is changed, and so on. So you can see that in that case we can actually just turn off sending on the particles just by using that option there. That's it. It's a very, very simple test. All it is a way of getting your particles onto a new event, and you can turn it off by using no particles. Okay, let's move on from here and have a look at the spawn test.